Hey everybody, Chris with Night of Living Card Games here. Back again for more Earthborne Rangers, now hitting the campaign in earnest. So, previous video I went through the kind of day zero prologue to build my ranger. And so my ranger is here and ready to go. I am an undaunted seeker using the explorer and shepherd background and roles. I've got 3 fitness, 2 awareness, 2 spirit, 1 focus, and I went through the opening things. I have shown up at Lone Tree Station. I have been given a mission to go find the local chef, High Pimpot, get some biscuits from him, and then go deliver them to the next village over. So I've got everything in play. I went through the initial setup stuff in the last campaign. So I've got my weather set up over here. I've got Lone Tree Station. I did the initial setup here. So I found the next predator, which was a prowling wolfhound, and I discarded it. Then I drew a path card, which was my sunberry brambles. I have my opening hand here. I've got a leaf in the breeze, healing touch, a photoscopic headset, hydra lens goggles, Oru the sheepdog, and an eagle eye. All right, so I have got everything set up and ready to go, and it's time to hit this thing. So, turn 1 here. First things first, I have to draw a path card. Oh, we get a prowling wolfhound. So it comes in my within reach area, has a presence of 2, harm threshold of 4, and a connect threshold of 6. It says if there is another predator in play, which there is not, it would come in exhausted. It's got a sun challenge effects, ready another wolfhound, and a red crest effect if you have 3 or more fatigue, exhaust as being in suffer an injury. All right, so I found a wolfhound in the brambles, and I need to go search through there to try to find our chef. All right, so what am I going to do here? I think we're going to do ourselves a little bit of setup here. I think first things first, I'm going to spend 2 spirit to play Oru the sheepdog. So it costs 2 spirit there. He's got a presence of 2. Friendly, persistent, and unique. 3 harm threshold. And I can exhaust him to move a being and add 2 progress to it. And then as a test, I can do a fitness and connect test to pet your canine companion, to ready him, and soothe the fatigue. All right. He is not equipped gear, so he does come up into my within reach area. All right, so that's that. Again, this would be where other rangers would take their turns, but I don't need to. So I am going to exhaust Uru to move the wolfhound to along the way and add 2 progress to him. That is not a test, so I don't need to draw a challenge effect, a challenge card, and potentially hit a crest. All right, I think we are going to just get ourselves fully set up this turn. So we are going to spend 2 awareness to get a hydra lens goggle out, and it comes in with 3 uses. So the goggle cost me 2 awareness. It's got 3 uses, and then as a test, I can do awareness plus connect and use one of my drop uses to clarify your view of the environment around you, to scout the path cards equal to your effort, and then draw 1. So this is going to help me go look for the chef or the other inhabitants in here. So we got a 3. And then we are going to spend 1 focus to get my photoscopic headset down. So again, cost 1 focus, and exhaust when a ranger scouts, increase the number of cards scouted by 1. So this is going to help me with my goggles to scout more cards. Both of those have a item slot of 1 Basically, again, you can have five slots worth of equipped gear in play at any time. All right. All right, so I can't play Eagle Eye as a moment because that costs money. I can't play Leaf in the Breeze because that costs an awareness as well. I can't play Healing Touch. So, I don't have any energy, so I can't do my test there. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to do a quick traverse. I'm going to take a little bit of fatigue from that, but that's okay. So I'm going to commit 3 to this. So what my roll card says is exhaust. When you perform a test, dodge 1 card. So what I can do is I can pick a card and just ignore it from a fatigue standpoint. So I'm going to choose the Prowling Wolfhound to ignore it. So I will take 1 fatigue from the brambles, but I am now going to try to traverse with with 3 awareness here. So let's draw my challenge card. It is a 0. And it does have a mountain crest. So first things first. Let us get, no, that's the wrong counter. Let's get 3 progress on here. The perfect day says if you added progress on this test, add another one. So I'm actually up to 4. Wolfhound does not have a mountain. Oru doesn't, but is exhausted anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then the Sunberry Brambles does. If there's an active prey, exhaust it. There is no active prey. So that doesn't trigger. All right. All right, so I've got enough progress that I can leave anytime. One of the things that I know has been talked about and I've heard some suggestions on is, especially in solo, try to knock out the progress early, so if things go to hell, you can get out of there quick, because you can always leave a location if you're surrounded by predators. You can just get out of there as long as it doesn't have an obstacle on it. Then I'm good. Oh, and I do realize I did put my mission up here. I needed to check. It should be about here, but you know, I got the screen in front of it, so it did not have a mountain effect, so that didn't trigger. So, all right, there's nothing I can really do here left, so I am going to rest. Oh, I'm exhausted. My roll. So I'm gonna rest. So do I want to travel? No, I do not. So we refresh. So we ready all cards. We return our energy. And we draw a card. Our card is a boundary sensor. It costs 1 fitness, takes up 2 gear slots, has 4 sensors, and it says exhaust and use 1 sensor. When a ranger performs a traverse test, commit 1 effort. All right. So that is everything. I've reset everything. So now we draw a path card. It is Spirit Speaker Null. So Spirit Speaker Null comes into my within reach. She has a presence value of 2. She has a 3 harm threshold and a 3 per ranger connect threshold. She is friendly, so she would not fatigue me. And then she's got a test. Use a focus and connect test against a threshold of 2 to share in Null's understanding of the universe, to add 1 progress to this being for every 2 effort, and scout 1 challenge card. And then it says if you clear her using progress or harm, read entry 45. She comes in, read entry 45. However, the Biscuit delivery mission instead says, during this mission, use entry 91 instead of the normal entries for High Pimpop, Cordo, Nal, and Quizzy Boss. So let's go take a look at 91 for Spirit Speaker Nal. Nal opens her eyes and slowly turns to you. Her movements precise and fluid. She smiles at you like an old friend. That was lovely, she says. I just had the most amazing experience. I was speaking with the spirit of Mount Nim. It was so powerful and ancient. It's a great spirit to call upon if you ever find yourself in need of some perspective. But right now, we should check on on the spirits of those biscuits, she says with a playful smirk. You better find High Pimpot and pick them up while they're still warm. Each ranger soothes to fatigue, then discards Null. So I only have one fatigue in my deck, so I get to take it and put it in my hand. It's insightful. And then I discard her. All right. Okay. So now on to my turn. So I'm debating on how I want to do this. Do I want to use my goggles to do this? Don't really need to get the boundary sensor out. One thing that I did realize when I was looking through my deck is, so I've got good cards to do some scouting, but like the goggles is awareness plus knowledge, and I don't have a lot of knowledge icons in my deck, so we'll see if that comes back to bite me. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to exhaust Uru to move this Wolfhound back within reach, and I get to add 2 progress to it. So again, Uru just says move a being and add 2 progress to it. It doesn't say anything about it has to be within reach of you or in the same location as Uru to do it. So it's just a free move and 2 progress. So I am up there. The problem is both scouting and avoiding uses awareness energy. So I kind of have to decide here which one I want to do. I think what I will do here instead, because I've got it at 4, I'm going to use 2 spirit energy and a healing touch to try to connect with the Wolfhound to clear it out. All right, so I am got a 3 effort. It's got a presence of 2. -2. Dang it. So I fail. In this case, failure doesn't mean anything. I think of the common test, the only one that hurts you if you fail. If you fail at a traverse test, you suffer an injury. So that is unfortunate. All right, so now we get the red challenge effects. Oh, I did lose a cloud in the refresh. Nothing in the mission. Nothing in weather. Nothing at Lone Tree Station. Exhausted here. And then it says, if you have 3 or more fatigue, exhaust this being and suffer 1 injury. I do not have any fatigue at the moment. And then this icon means I need to reshuffle. Oh, that is unfortunate, but c'est la vie. All right, I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to spend 1 energy to play Eagle Eye. So Eagle Eye is 1 awareness card. It says scout 3 path cards, then draw 1 path card. And then if I exhaust my photoscopic headset, because I'm scouting cards, I get to increase that by 1. So I get to scout 4 cards. Now, my understanding is that because this is a moment and I'm interacting with the path deck, that is not the surround, that doesn't increase, that doesn't do anything with fatigue. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, I just looked it up and I'm not interacting with a card. It is every card between you and the card that you're interacting with fatigues you, but since I'm not interacting with a card, I'm interacting with the deck, I should be fine. So I get to scout 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then draw one. So brambles, thicket, or a Sitka buck. I'm going to grab the buck. And then I am going to put these 3 on the bottom. So again, scouting is really good because now that would have been 4 turns that I would have had to have burned through that deck before I even got to the next card. So, okay. So no fatigue from there. So now it is my turn again. Don't have any spirit to connect to anything left. I could try a... If I try a test, I'll be taking a bunch of fatigue. I don't want to do that. I could try to... I could try to dodge the Sitka buck on one versus one. I could try to get rid of the brambles, but I would just be 2 versus 2, so that's not thrilling me here. So I think I can dodge 1 card, but I don't really want to take 2 fatigue. So I think we're just gonna call it a day, or not a day. We're gonna rest. So it's kind of feels bad, especially with all this energy sitting here. So many things I could be doing. My cards I could put out. I suppose I could put out a boundary sensor. Yeah, why not? Let's, before I end the day, I'll pull out a boundary sensor. So again, 1 fitness takes up 2 slots. It's got 4 uses, and it helps me with traversing. So why don't I do that at least? All right, and then I'm going to end. I've got a Leaf in the Breeze and Insightful in here. All right, so we're going to ready everything up. That's everything. Recharge my energy. And then draw a card, which is bold, which is not something that's going to help me right now. All right, and we take 1 off of a perfect day. So we're down to 1, and now we draw a path card. It is another Prowling Wolfhound. If there is another predator in play, which there is, it comes into play exhausted. All right, so that's something at least. So we are going to use Oru the Sheepdog to move this Wolfhound here and add 2 progress to it. It now has 6 progress on it, so I can discard it. Let's see here. Trying to decide. I think I'm going to try to oh no, that's not a being. So do I want to burn through my awareness to try to pluck that, or do I want to use that to scout? No, I think I want to use that to scout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to connect to the Wolfhound. I'm going to just pop in 2 spirit. I'm going to try the spirit and connect test. So it's 2 versus 2. Not great odds. Let's put that in the wrong spot. It's a +1, so I get a 3 on it. So I get 3 on there. Awesome. It does have a red challenge effect, though, so nothing on the missions, nothing on here. Nope. Exhausted, nope. If there is an active Sitka Doe, which there is not, and that's exhausted, so nothing. All right, so that worked out good. So that'll help me for trying to get rid of him faster. I guess we're going to have to let's do some scouting. So we're going to use a Hydra Lens goggles use. We're going to throw in 2 awareness and an insightful, so giving me a 3. So I'm going to exhaust my seeker. So, well, actually, no, I guess not. So I'm interacting with a card in my equipped area, so that's not going to fatigue me at all, I don't believe. Let me verify that here. All right, so fatigue. Where is that? Bear with me here. I apologize. First game is always going to. Page 23. No. Oh, there we go. Cards within reach. There's nothing between you. Yeah. So I'm interacting with this card, so nothing is between me and my equipped gear, so I don't even take any fatigue. So I'm coming in with a 3, and I get to scout path cards equal to your effort. So I still have to do this. If it doesn't have another specific test threshold on it, the threshold is 1. So I'm 3 versus 1. -2. So I still pass because ties pass, but I only get to scout 1. So let me take care of this first, and then I will exhaust this to scout 1 additional. So let me take care of this first, so I get to scout 2. We got another buck, and we've got a topside mass feature. Okay, I guess we'll do the topside mast. And I've got a campaign entry to read there, and then that buck is going on the top. So first things first, let's do the sudden challenge effect. Nothing here, nothing here. Mission. If Quizzy Voss is not in a path, discard. She is drawn by baked goods. Search for the valley set for Quizzy and put her into play. All right. I knew this was coming eventually, but... All right, so Quizzy Voss is a being. She comes into play within reach. She's fatiguing, friendly, and persistent. She has a presence of 1, 3 harm threshold, 3 connect threshold. And you can do a focus and connect test to ask Quizzy about her adventures in the valley to add progress to this being equal to your effort, then exhaust this being, and then read 80.4. All right. So she comes into play. So that triggers that, which means she's got a sun effect on there. So that'll trigger. But first, let me read her. You feel a tug on your backpack and turn to see a young girl suddenly walking beside you. Hi, she says. Do you smell something? Is High Pim Pop baking his famous juniper biscuits? Can I have one now? Which way to the kitchen? So clear Quizzy with progress to help her find the kitchen. All right, so now continuing on. So that was that. So now here, if there is another active Sitka buck, there is not. This is exhausted, so that doesn't trigger. And this says either discard either 1 progress or 1 token from a plant, insect, or gear. I don't have a choice, so I have to get rid of a token from a gear because I don't have any progress on a plant or an insect. So I guess boundary sensor is going to go down. All right, well, that was that. I need to reshuffle that deck, but first things first, let me read the entry for Topside Mast. So, Topside Mast is a feature. It's a structure, a scent. It goes into the along the way area. It's got 0 presence, 6 harm threshold, and that icon actually means if I move my ranger token, which is this little token here, to it, then it clears. And it says if the weather is inclement, you cannot interact with this feature. And then I can do a focus. I can do a focus and connect test against a threshold of 3 to convince the Swift's crew of the urgency of your mission to move your ranger token to this feature. And then if I clear it, I read 42. So this comes in with a 42. So let me take a look at this. I am trying to use, they put the campaign guide electronically in there. So, all right. So high atop Lone Tree Station, you'll find a series of circular platforms of polished wood and forged carbon. During your training, on clear windless days, these platforms served as a refuge. You would often spend your free time in the afternoons bathing there in the sun, sitting in quiet contemplation, and looking out over the mirrored surface of White Sky Lake. You'd also look wistfully at the airship known as the Swift, its hull gleaming in the sun, as Ben Amon would climb aboard and launch it into the air. The legs of the vehicle would compress and then extend with a sudden movement, propelling it upward with tremendous force. Then, once it's reached its apex, its wings would unfurl and the glider would soundlessly soar towards the horizon, steadily descending as it flew towards its destination. Calypso told you and the other initiates that it was prone to roll and crash in inclement weather, and if you flew it any great distance, its energy cell would drain and the Swift would grow inert, unable to launch for days before the cells recharged. All this was clearly meant to dissuade you from taking the Swift out on your own. But when you look at the airship, you can't help but feel a surge of excitement. To soar high above the valley would surely be exhilarating, if not a little terrifying. Now that you're a full-fledged ranger, perhaps you can convince the crew to take you for a ride. All right, so that was all the effects of my scouting test with my goggles. So, shuffle this up. All right, I do need to check in the rulebook real quick what the fatiguing keyword on Quizzy means. I think that means when I rest, she still fatigues me. She is a very inquisitive child and constantly peppers you with questions. So that can be very tiring. Page 26. Fatiguing. When you rest, if this card is ready and is equipped within reach or along the way, you suffer fatigue equal to its presence. Yep. So when I rest, which will probably be soon, Quizzy is going to fatigue me a card. All right. Now the funny thing is, she is a being, which means Uru the sheepdog can move her along. So I'm going to try her test. I have 1 focus energy. I don't have any connect icons in my hand. So this is a 1 versus 1 to ask her about her adventures to add progress to this being equal to your effort. And then exhaust the being. So I still have 1 cloud left on a perfect day. So if I can get this, maybe I can do good here. So, all right, so we get a test, and because it's within reach, these cards don't fatigue me. -1, so I fail. We get a mountain effect, nothing in the mission. I didn't add progress. If there's an active prey, there is. Exhaust it. Add progress to it and a harm to this feature, both equal to that prey's presence. So we're getting So the buck decided to take take a quick break to nibble on some sunberries there. All right, well, I've got a whole bunch of fitness energy, but I've got nothing I can do with it. So I guess we're just going to have to rest. So I suffer a fatigue from Quizzy. And real quick, I'm just going to point out, once again, the artwork is just phenomenal on here. Look at this little kid, these weird butterflies flying around her, and she actually is missing a hand, but has this like magnetic or magical, prosthetic contraption on there. And just the theme of it is she's a young child just out exploring, and she found you, and now she's gonna latch onto you for a little bit of time and just pepper you with questions and bug you and bother you until she gets bored and moves on to go do something else. All right. So we ready everything up. Put our energy back. Draw a card, which is another Uru, which at this point is just a connect icon for me. And then we lose out. We remove our last cloud from a perfect day and flip it over to the midday sun. So now on refresh, we add clouds back to it. But if we come up with a yellow sun challenge effect, we will suffer 1 fatigue. And we can use focus and knowledge to locate shade to soothe the fatigue and add a cloud. All right. So now we draw a path card, and it is Cordo, Ranger Veteran. Comes within reach. A presence of 2, is friendly. Harm threshold of 4, connect threshold of 3. And has a test that says fit and challenge against a threshold of 2 to hunt with Cordo to add 1 harm to a being for every 2 effort, then add an equal amount of progress to Cordo. I might actually do that. I might go hunt the prowling wolfhound. But I believe there is an entry for me to read. So let me get there. Glad you made it through training. The grizzled man sticks out his hand and shakes yours firmly. The name's Cordo, in case you forgot. I understand you have a lot of new faces to take in. All right. So, for every 2 effort. So I think... So I'm thinking, so if I do the hunt with him, I can hopefully clear out the prowling wolfhound. And then if I do good enough, I can clear out him as well. And then I can use Oru to try to get rid of Quizzy, to just kind of herd her along. So I think I'm going to try that, because I've got a bunch of fitness energy that I can't use right now. So I'm going to use 3 fitness energy, and I'm going to commit bold to try Cordo's test. So I'm going up against 2, and I'm committing a 5. Or no, that's a conflict icon, not fitness. Shoot. I don't have any conflict icons, so in my hand. So do I still do that? That doesn't, since it's for every 2 effort, I would need a +1 on that to get it, and that doesn't seem good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exhaust Uru to move the wool. Well, hang on. All right. The problem is... All right. Decisions. So if I do Cordo, I could maybe get a 4th progress on the wolfhound, and then Oru can herd it away. Alternatively, I can try to connect with Quizzy and then get rid of her because she fatigues me when I end my turn, so that's not good. So let's do this first. Let's try to connect with Quizzy Voss first. So I'm going to spend both my spirits, and I'm going to commit Uru the sheepdog, so I'm a 3 versus 1. It's a 0. So I get 3 progress on her. And that is enough to have her go away. So let's see here. So clearing Quizzy Voss. In your time together, Quizzy has made a game of scouring Lone Tree Station for clues as to the kitchen's whereabouts. Eventually, the scent of High Pimp Hop's biscuits grows stronger, and Quizzy cheers, "Yes, yes, yes! Delicious biscuits, here I come!" She runs off. Each ranger soothes 2 fatigue, then discards Quizzy. All right, well, I only have 1 fatigue at the moment, which is my whistle. And then Quizzy goes away. All right, perfect. Now we have to do the challenge effect here. So, nope. All right, so I've got 2 of these. So if there's an active prey exhausted, add progress to it and harm to this feature equal to that. Or I can exhaust it for this. So you know what? I'm going to do the brambleberry first. So I'm going to, if there's an active prey, exhaust it. Then add progress to it and harm to this feature both equal to the prey's presence. So 2 and 2, and that's enough for the berry threshold. So that clears out. All right, perfect. That goes away. All right. We've got some things we can do here. So now we are going to try our hunt with Cordo. We're just going to go in with just the 3 versus 2. And it is a -1. So I succeed to. So it was 3 versus 2. 2 to 2. Ties go to the Rangers. So I have 2 effort on it. So I get to add 1 harm to being for every 2 effort. Oh no, actually. I don't know why I did that. For some reason I was thinking it was progress, not harm. That's silly. That was a waste of time for me, but all right. And then we get a red challenge effect. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Nothing. Exhausted, so nothing. If you have 3 or more fatigue, I do not. If there are 2 or more active predators, exhaust 1 of them. There is not. So I don't know why I did that. That was silly of me. So Uru is going to move this Wolfhound up to along the way and add 2 progress to take it up to 5. All right, we are now going to use one of my Hydra Lens goggles. Let's do it. Let's go 2 versus 1 on this to 0. Okay, and then I'm not sure the timing on this. If I have to exhaust this before I make the test or after I'm successful on it, because I don't really, because it says win a Ranger scouts. I'm not really scouting until I pass the test. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm scouting 3 cards because I got a 0 there. So that was, so 2. And then this adds me for 1. So let's 1, 2, 3. He's got to be in here someplace, right? Caustic Mulcher, Sitka Doe, and a Sitka Buck. Let's put the doe into play, I guess. And then we're going to put the Caustic Mulcher way on the bottom here. Man, high had to be like has to be like the last one on here. All right, so that was that. And now I need to do the challenge effect. So, Sun, suffer a fatigue. All right, mission. If Quizzy Voss is not in the discard, she is, so I don't need to do that. Wolfhound says, ready another prowling Wolfhound. There aren't any. Okay, exhausted in this. If there are one or more Sitka bucks in play, which there are, they're drawn to the doe. Move each Sitka buck within reach. They already are. And nothing there. I guess I'm just going to, for my last action, I'm going to spend my one focus to get my Paratrepsis whistle out. Comes in with 3 uses, 3 calls, and it basically when I would suffer an injury from a predator or injury would be added to a being by a predator, I can cancel that effect. All right, that's all I got. So we got to ready everything up. Nothing there. Add our energy back. We draw Versatile, handy. And now we add 1 cloud to the midday sun. I'm getting cloudy again, and now we draw our path card. Come on, High. There we go. Finally, High Pimpot Chef. He is a being, a human, and a ranger. He has a presence of 2, a harm threshold of 3, a connect threshold of 2. He is friendly, and you can use awareness plus knowledge versus harvest, versus a threshold of 2 to harvest local plants for the stew to attach a flora face down to High. If there are 3 flora underneath attack to High, he prepares his famous stew, read 47.4. And then clear, he would have instructions, but we're doing special things because of the biscuits. I no longer have any florid out, so I wouldn't be able to do that test anyway. All right. High Pimpot. You come across a massive pile of diced and sliced vegetables, roots, and tubers. Occasionally, more slices fly through the air to land on top of the pile. Back already? A voice says from beyond the vegetable pile. I told you, there's no silverfin curry to be had until the fish has marinated for at least 3 hours. A head pokes out from behind the pile. Oh, it's you! I thought you were Elder Thrush. She gets so impatient on silverfin curry day. Calypso sent you for biscuits, eh? They're just out of the oven. Let me know when you're ready to leave, and we'll get you and those biscuits to the good people of White Skies straight away. Travel away from Lone Tree Station while High Pimpot is in play to complete the mission. Okay. So yeah, so I don't have to do anything really. I'm trying to say, is there anything that I want to do? You know, I'm going to try to connect with Cordo. Just for, well, actually, first things first, Oru's going to move the Woolhound into my area, add 2 progress, which is enough to clear it. Let's get that predator out of there. As much as I would love to go do that, I don't think I'm going to. I don't have the stats good enough to do it, and I don't want to take a few turns to do that. So let's try to connect with Cordo. I'm just going to do 2 spirit. I'm not going to use versatile, so I'm just going to go even. 2 versus 2. 0. So I succeed, and I get to add 2 progress to him. So that pushes that up to 3, which is that is enough to clear him. So let's see what happens when we clear Cordo. Well, I've been in the Rangers for a few decades. Survived more Aatrox attacks than I can count. Cordo rubs his chin. Once I was one of the best hunters in the valley. I suppose I still am, but these days I spend most of my time keeping things running smoothly around here. Though I do get out for a hunt every now and then. His voice takes on a tone of mock severity. I'd take you on a hunt right now, in fact. But you have some biscuits to deliver. You're not going to let the people of White Sky starve, are you? Each ranger soothes to fatigue, then discards Cordo. So I get an insightful back, and Cordo is discarded. All right, now we got to take care of the challenge effects. We've got a sun, which does fatigue me. Shame I couldn't have done that in a different order, but clear effects happen first. Nothing. Quizzy Boss in the discards, so nothing there. If there is another Sitka buck, there is not. If there are one more Sitka bucks in play, they move closer. Already there, and high has nothing. So, all right. So that is it. I'm just gonna choose to rest. So now that I'm choosing to rest, I don't ready anything up yet. So I'm going to choose to travel. So the location has more than the progress threshold on it. It needs 3 per ranger. I've got 4 on there. If you do, remove all path cards from the play area. All right. I think before I clear high, I'm going to read his entry. I am going to get rid of that. High Pimpop crosses his arm and gives you a severe look. You better grab these biscuits and hit the trail before they cool too much. They're still cold, mind you, but they're just so much better when they're warm. You raise your hands to tell him you're just about to leave. Good, he says. Just let me know when you're ready. I'll be right here, waiting. Remove all progress from High Pimpot. He does not clear. Okay. Travel away from Lone Tree Station while High Pimpot is in play to collect the biscuits and continue the missions. Okay, let me see here. Let me look at the mission. Yep. Travel away from Lone Tree Station while High Pimpot is in play. 1.01. So I didn't actually clear him from progress, so I shouldn't have read that one per se, but that's okay. It was just flavor anyway. Okay. Okay, 101, there we are. High Pimpop places the last juniper biscuit into the basket and hands it to you. There's no better way to begin a friendship than with a freshly baked biscuit, he says. The people of White Sky just love meeting new rangers. They always come bearing treats. High Pimpop winks and takes a biscuit for himself. You shoulder the basket and walk down the trail towards White Sky. As you do, the enticing aroma of the biscuits wafts up from the baskets. You remember that you haven't eaten anything since breakfast. Your stomach growls. Surely they won't miss 1 or 2. Flip biscuit delivery mission to the biscuit basket side, then choose a ranger to equip it. Okay, biscuit basket is a gear. It has 3 biscuits in it, and it takes 2 gear slots. So I'm gonna have to dump some gear to hold this. Do Spirit plus Connect versus a threshold at 2 to give a biscuit. To move 1 biscuit to a human that does not have a biscuit on them, then add 4 progress to them. And then I can use Awareness plus Knowledge to sneak a biscuit to soothe 3 fatigue and move 1 biscuit to your roll. If there is 0 biscuit on the gear, move to read entry 1.02. All right. So I gotta figure out, do I want to get rid of the boundary sensor? Or... So I've got 5 in there, so I need to clear out 2. The boundary sensor is 2, or I have to clear 2 of these ones. Boundary sensor makes the most sense, but I've got so much... charges on it left. Decisions. Okay, so let's see here. So scouting would help me find people. If this goes away, there's no reason to keep this. I've got a leaf in the breeze, or eagle eye, but I've already used 1 of them, and it doesn't make sense for me to do that. That prevents injuries. Oof. All right, I think, because I get a bunch of traverse icons in my hand, I am going to just discard the boundary sensor to pick up the biscuit basket. All right. 1.01. So since I didn't actually clear him with progress. He was in play 101, so I think he does just go away. I don't think he... Yeah, so he just goes away now. He doesn't stay with me. All right. All right, so then travel. Okay, so let's take a look here at the map. So I am over here at Lone Tree Station, and I think I need to get them over to White Sky. Yep, White Sky is over there. So I guess we might as well head towards White Sky, and I think that is the Lakeshore set. So, all right, bear with me a little bit. This is the first time I'm doing a travel in the regular game. Travel to a new location. As a group, travel to a new location, find its location, build the path deck, terrain set. So I need the Lakeshore set. All right, here's the Lakeshore set. There are 12 cards for Lakeshore. So then we get the location set. If the location set is a pivotal location, which it is, there should be cards equal. There should be a White Sky. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if it wasn't a pivotal location, you just do 3 random cards from the Valley set just to spice things up. All right, that is that. So we're going to have to shuffle these up. This clears out. This comes out. I'm going to pause real quick while I set up the new one so you don't have to see me going through all these cards. All right, got all the cards taken care of here, and before I suppose before I travel or rest or something, I need to reshuffle the challenge jack since I had a reshuffle. But I did suffer 1 fatigue from that sun effect, so... All right, well, that was fun. That was very interesting. Different ways to try to get around things and everything. So, all right. So, let's see if we can deliver some biscuits. Oh, I gotta get some biscuits in the basket. So we got 3. All right, now we need to do the setup effect for White Sky. Read entry 3. Let's see here. No. From your vantage point, you can see much of the southern shore of the White Sky Lake. From the froth of the rapids at the head of the Silverfin River to the mix of rocky promontories and pebble-strewn beaches that slowly curve around towards the opposite shore. There you see the village of White Sky and the tiny forms of villagers going about their business on the platforms and docks. Right, and then the lead ranger draws one path card. Right, taking a look at White Sky is a location. What is this? Location, pivotal, water, and trail. It has a progress threshold of 3 per ranger, a presence of 1, and it has a test, awareness plus connect, to search the shores besides the towering parasols of White Sky to scout path cards equal to your effort, then draw 1 path card. Right, so it is a built-in way to scout, so that's nice. Right, and so my path card is a tributary stream. It goes along the way. It's got a presence value of 1. It's got a 4 harm threshold and a connection icon of just getting my ranger token there. It's an obstacle. And then test spirit plus connect against a threshold of 2 to soak your feet in the cold, clear water to move your ranger token to this feature and soothe fatigue equal to your effort. It also has a test that says for focused and traverse against a threshold 2 to follow the cheerily winding stream to move your ranger token to this feature and add 1 progress to the location. All right, so we can either do spirit and connect to get ourselves there and soothe some fatigue, or we can do focus and explore to get some progress onto White Sky. All right. That's not too bad. It is an obstacle, though, so it does mean that I can't. I won't be able to leave Lone Tree Station until, or White Sky, until I clear that, and I clear it by getting my Ranger token there. And this does have a presence of 1, so when I try to traverse or if I try to do this test on White Sky, this will fatigue me a card each time. So, all right, so that was the travel. So we're now in the refresh. So we ready all cards, give our energy back, draw a card, which is another boundary sensor, and then add a cloud to clear day, so or to midday sun. So after this turn, we'll flip that back over to a perfect day. All right. Taking a look at the stream here. Yep. So what do I have? I have 1 card in my hand, but that seems kind of iffy to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do this focus plus what is that? Exploration test against the threshold of 2. So I will commit 1 energy. I will commit a bold. So that puts me at 3 versus 2. I think that seems pretty good because all I have to do is succeed at it. So we get a 0. Perfect. So I do get to move my token here. Since all ranger token... Oh, and I get to add a progress to the feature, which I don't have any features out at the moment, so I guess that doesn't do me any good. Oh, to the location. Sorry, yeah, to the location. So I do get to add a progress to White Sky because I followed the cheerily winding stream. And then I get to do the clear before the challenge effects happen, so nothing really. This just goes away, and I guess my ranger token just comes back to me. Right, let's clear that out. And now we've got no Blue Mountain challenge effects anyway, so it's all good. So I guess I'm gonna use the test here. So I'm gonna do awareness plus connect. So I'll commit 2 awareness, and I'll commit a versatile. So that is a total of 3 against a target of 1. and that is a 0. So we do the results of the test before we do the challenge effects. So I get to scout. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4. And because I was using this test, I don't have to worry about that. So that is 4 out of the path deck. I'm looking for people so I can give them some biscuits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then draw one. A Lutrinol Holt, a Romping Lutrinol, a Tidewater Muckets, and a Romping Lutrinol. I don't want any of those Lutrinol, so I think I will take a Tidewater Mucket, which comes within reach. It is a being. It is prey, water, and food. 0 presence, 2 harm threshold, 3 connect or progress threshold. Use fitness plus knowledge to pry open a shell and savor its contents to add 1 harm to this being and soothe 2 fatigue. And then it has a yellow sun and a blue mountain challenge effect. All right. And then these 3 I'm going to put in the bottom. I think we'll put the Lutrinols on the very bottom. I mean, technically, I put those 3 on the bottom. I put this one on the top, and then I drew that one. Same difference. All right. Since that's a presence of 0, I'm going to actually just... Oh, and these go away. I am going to just try to... Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, I need to do the challenge effects. So here, I suffer a fatigue. And then here, if there's an exhausted predator, ready it and exhaust this being instead. No. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to traverse. I'm not going to commit any cards. I'm just going to use my 3 fitness. 3 versus 1 here. It is a 0 with the blue mountain. So I get 3 on here, getting it up to 4. So I have enough to leave whenever I want to. Blue mountain, nothing, nothing, nothing. And here, if there's an active predator, there is not. So... I don't want to use that to try to scout. Well, I don't even have any energy to do it, even if I wanted to. I can try to connect with, I can try to connect with the muckets, but honestly, I'm probably just gonna try to use it to soothe fatigue on it later. Okay, yeah. I guess I'm just gonna rest then. Yeah. Nothing else for me to do here. I'm not gonna travel, even though I have that, so we get to ready all our cards, reset our energy, draw a card into another pair of goggles. Beautiful. And then we get a 3rd cloud on midday sun, which I get to flip back over to a perfect day. All right, so that is my rest. Now we draw a path card. It is another tributary stream. This is an obstacle, and so I have to go take care of that. All right, you know what we're going to do? First things first, we're going to try to open up the Tidewater Muckets and savor its contents. So I am going to be doing a 2 versus 0 test. It is a 0, so I succeed. So I get to add 1 harm to that being and soothe 2 fatigue. So I get to soothe a Homeward Bound and a Bold. Oh, that's convenient. All right, I only have 1 fatigue left, so Doesn't make a lot of sense to do that again. But red crest. Nothing, 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 nothing. So no red crest. All right, let us do this focus and follow. Focus and exploration. So we'll do one focus. We'll commit 2 exploration icons with bold. So I am a 3 versus 2. -1. So that's 2 versus 2. So I succeed. So I'm here. I get to place a progress on white sky, and then this goes away. So I am back to being able to travel. And now challenge effects. If I added progress, I'm not sure if that would, because I added progress through the test, and then if you added progress, I had 1 more. So yeah, I guess it would. So I guess I get a 6 progress there. And then if there's an active predator, there is not. All right. We're going to use the awareness plus connect there. So should I just go 2 to 1? Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. No, what I'm going to do is since I've got another goggle in my thing, I'm going to use the last charge off of that, both of that, and I'm going to use Insightful. So that is testing a 3 versus 1. And then, I don't know, I'll exhaust this now. So 3 versus 1, it's awareness, so it is at 0, so 3 versus 1 succeeds, so that's 3, plus another 1 for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lutinol, bubble. Oh, an angler. Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep the bubble out. And we're going to put the carnivorous naiad and the romping lutrinol on the bottom. And then we're going to put the bubble and Artel angler into play, or on the top of the deck. Let's try to do this properly. And then we draw a card. And that is Artel angler. So he comes within reach. He is a human being villager. Threshold of presence of 1, harm threshold of 3, progress threshold 2 per ranger. He is friendly. Let us read his entry of 48. Okay. What's this then? The voice seems to come out of nowhere. Then you look up to see someone standing on a rock overlooking the water. Those smell like High Pimpot's famous juniper biscuits. You barely have time to notice that the person has a fishing rod before it flicks out and the hook catches on the handle of the basket. With a practiced flick of the wrist, the basket now sits in front of the angler, who eyes the biscuits greedily. May I? I haven't had a bite all day. Clear Artel with progress to ask about not getting any bites fishing. All right, so it comes into play. So he also has a test on him, focus plus conflict against a threshold of 2. To fish with the affable angler, to exhaust Artel. If there's a water card in play, soothe 2 fatigue and add 1 token to each equipped food. Well, I don't want to add food to the basket. That goes against the whole purpose of this. So that was that turn. I need to do the sun challenge effect. Nothing, nothing, nothing. There's exhausted predator. Nope. And nope. All right. So, this goes away. And I think gear stays here until, unlike something like Arkham or Marvel Champions, I don't think you discard gear when it's empty of uses. It just stays there until you kick it out or something takes it out. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Spirit plus Connect test against a threshold of 2. So I'm going to do that 2, and I guess I'm going to commit Homeward Bound to this to be a 3 versus 2. Spirit test plus 1. All right, so I succeed. So move 1 biscuit to a human that does not have a biscuit on them, then add 4 progress to them. So this goes down to 2. I don't think it matters. He's going to get 1. He's going to get 4 progress. And then we do the challenge effect. I technically get a 5th one on here. If there's an active predator, there is not. So that's that. All right, so I have cleared, so I have 5 progress on him, so I have cleared him. So I need to clear him. So 48.6. Artel Harums. Not sure what it is, but I think the fishing's been terrible for weeks. I think something spooked the fish in these parts. I can feel it. The angler appears contemplative for a moment. Actually, I've been hearing tales of some amazing fishing spots across the lake at the Golden Shore. Maybe all the fish moved up there. Would you be willing to accompany me? I'd sure appreciate an escort, what with the fish spooker hanging around somewhere. And we have a choice now. We either agree to bring Artel to Golden Shore, to remove all progress from Artel and attach the Helping Hand mission to Artel, or not today, to discard Artel and each ranger soothes 1 fatigue. All right, so I got to find 2 more people to finish the biscuit delivery mission. Or I go help him. So I'm looking pretty good. So one of the things about this is for the missions, for a lot of these missions, if you don't complete it in the day, in the same day that you got it, you lose the mission. It's not, some of them reset, some of them stay where they're at, but the majority of them, you just lose them. You had 1 day to do the thing, and if you don't get it done, it just goes away. But we'll try it. Let's see what happens here. So I need to find the Helping Hand mission. All right, Helping Hand. You have agreed to help this person complete their important task. Do not add the mission to the campaign tracker. If you do not help this person before the end of the day, the opportunity is lost for now. The attached being gains persistent. All right. So I remove all progress from him. And add Helping Hand. So I guess he stays within reach. Now the funny thing is, now that he's got progress on him, I could keep giving him more biscuits to clear that out. So, well, let's... All right. So that is that. I don't have any awareness to try this test. The only energy I have is fitness, and I'm not going to do that while I only have 1 card in my hand. So, yeah. We're going to rest and call it a day. So, let's get my energy back. Let's draw a card. It is Persuasive. Oh, yeah, I was going to suffer a fatigue to get Insightful back to my hand. Because Insightful is what I used on my goggles to say, if you succeeded at a test where you committed this attribute, you may suffer 1 fatigue to add it back to your hand. Actually, I think I'm going to say I did that. I grabbed persuasive, but we'll just put the next one on there because random cards are random, right? All right, so now I'll have 2 fatigue so I can work on getting him out. So, all right, so that's done. We lose a cloud on a perfect day, and then we draw a path card, which is going to be the bubble. The bubble is a feature, water and structure traded. It has 0 presence, a 6 harm presence, and a progress of just getting your ranger token to it. Has a test. It says fitness and exploration against a threshold of 3 to swim down to the underwater dome to return all of your equipped gear to your hand and move your ranger token to this feature. If you fail, suffer an injury. And then it says, while your ranger token is on this card, prevent all fatigue you would suffer from the weather. And when you clear it, you read entry 50. And when it comes in, you read entry 50 as well. The bubble. Standing on the edge of one of White Sky's platforms, you can see through the clear water, the lake bed, a good 5 meters down. Nestled among the jagged rocks and mud is what looks like a large bubble of trapped air. You see green within and movement as well. You ask one of the locals, a young boy, if there's anyone in the bubble right now. Just one, he says, not taking his eyes off the bobber of his fishing line. Solaro Mako, the archaeologist. Said he wanted to study some of the old archaeology gadgets down there. When you ask when he's coming up, he laughs. No idea. Solaro said the bubble has plenty of food in it. You can stay down there forever. Hopefully you all like my wonderful voices that I'm doing as part of this. I am by no means a voice actor in my spare time, so they're bad and they will get repeated from time to time. All right, well, I don't want to go down there with my biscuit basket because all my gear would come to my hand, so can't do that. All right. All right, first things first, we're gonna try this. We're gonna commit 2 to this. It is a 0, so I succeed. So I get to add 1 harm to this being and soothe 2 fatigue, which is a leaf in the breeze and versatile. And then this clears due to harm. All right, now we look at the crest effects. Nothing, 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 nothing. And then if there is an active predator, there is not. Perfect. So we are going to try to give Artel another biscuit. So spirit. And then I guess we'll use versatile to be 3 versus 2 on a spirit test. -1. So 2 versus 2, I succeed. So down to 1 biscuit. He has got 2 biscuits, and he gets 4 progress on him. Now, however, so technically he is... he has enough progress to clear, but he has helping hand on it. So, is this the fastest route to get to Golden Shore? I want to try to get some fishing in before dark. You haven't changed your mind, have you? The Rangers choose, agree to keep accompanying Artel to Golden Shore and remove all progress from him, or send him home to discard Artel and return a helping hand to your collection and soothe 1 fatigue. Well, we'll keep helping you, Ar. You just keep eating up those biscuits. All right, so that goes away. Red Crest is only him, and there are no active predators, so nothing there. I'm going to try this awareness test. I'm going to just be 2 to 1. I don't want to commit any spirit icons in here. 2 to 1. Oh, +1. Perfect. So 3 to 1. So I 3 + 1. So I get to scout 4. Let's see if I can find this Golden Shore place. 1, 2, 3, 4. fresh blue kelpweed, flesh and overwrapping, tidewater muckets. So we'll put the kelpweed on the bottom, along with the romping lutrinol, and then put the tidewater muckets on top. And then we draw one. It's the tidewater muckets. Hey, go figure. I suppose I should actually look at the map. Is the Golden Shore a... Oh yeah, Golden Shore is actually a place here. So I am down at White Sky. Golden Shore's up there. So I either have to come up to Mount Nim and around, or I come back to Lone Tree Station, Atrox Mountain, and Golden Shore. So I think we are going to... I guess I shouldn't have wasted my time to scout ahead, because I'm just going to be traveling. I don't have any fatigue, so there's nothing to add there. So, and if I hadn't done that, I would have used my 2 awareness to get another Hydra Lens goggles out. Oh well. Yeah, there's no point in doing that. So we are going to rest for the day, and we are going to choose to travel. So remove all path cards in play. I don't remove him because he has become persistent. So cards with persistent trait do not leave play when you travel. But this goes away, this goes away. These will come away. Just make sure I can get one of these that had a... No, that's a lot of cards without a reshuffle, so just wanted to check to make sure. All right, then this is going to go away. All right, let me go through the travel steps again. So we are going to travel to a new location. I'm going to try to go up to Mount Nim. Try to take the faster route to the Golden Shore. So I think I'll pause here to set up the next day and go from there. All right, we're back. So we traveled from White Sky to Mount Nim via a mountain pass. So we've constructed the challenge deck, or the path deck, with the mountain pass cards, and because Mount Nim is not a pivotal location, it's not one of these that are in gold like this. It doesn't have its own encounter set in it, so what you do is you take 3 random cards from the Valley set and add it to it. So there are 15 cards in there. All right. So Mount Nim is a location. It is a mountain and ascent. All right. It's got a presence of 2 down here. It's got a threshold of 4 per Rangers, and it's got a test on it. Focus plus exploration against a threshold of 3. Overlook the surrounding valley to choose a nearby location. Attach 1 card from that location set face down to this location. After you travel, if you travel to that location, put the attached card into play. Otherwise, return it to the collection. Okay, so we can scout out something good that we want to get out there. But first, we need to go through the setup stuff. So first things first, let us read entry 13 to find out about Mount Nim. Where are we at here? There we go. Climbing the spurs of Mount Nim is tiring work. A brisk wind chills your skin. As you approach the summit, you look out and see almost the entirety of the valley stretching to the south. White Sky Lake glimmers below. Then, following the thread of the Silverfin River, you can spot the thin, gleaming spike of Spire in the distance. Beyond, you imagine you can see the mouth of the valley, where the ground drops away into the emerald expanse of the Verdessa below. Right. Lead Ranger. Draw 2 path cards, choose 1 to put into play, and discard the other. If one of the cards has ambush, you must choose that card. And then next Ranger. All right, so 1 and 2. So first card is going to be the Spiderline Stanchion feature. Goes along the way. Zero presence is not an obstacle during your turn. If your ranger token is on this feature, you may treat obstacles as if they did not have the obstacle keyword. That's handy. And then spirit and knowledge against a threshold of 3 to brace yourself for the ride, to move your ranger token to this feature. And then response, when you travel, if all your ranger tokens are on this feature, you may travel to a location up to 2 paths away using the terrain of the second path. Okay, that's not bad. Like that one. And then we got Fractawire. Fractawire is a obstacle, 2 presence, 2 harm, 6 progress threshold, focus and conflict versus threshold 2 to break the bladed coils to add 1 harm to this feature for every 2 effort. If you fail, suffer an injury. Right. I don't like the fact that evolution has turned some vines into barbed wire, but that's what you're going to do with Fractawire, I guess. But neither of these have the ambush, so I don't have to do both. So we are going to discard Fractawire and put Spiderline Stanchion into play. All right, and so that was the setup of it. So now we hit the refresh phase. So we ready all our cards, refill our energy, draw a card, which is Walk With Me. Oh, nice. All right, and that is it. So now we're at the top of the, oh, nope, it is not it. Clouds go away, so we're down to 1 cloud on a perfect day. Now we draw a path card at the start of the round. It is Fractawire. All right. So we're going to have to deal with that. All right, first things first. Let's see if we can clear out the biscuit basket by just feeding Artel all the biscuits. So we're going to do spirit. We're going to try it just flat out 2 versus 2. Let me take a look at what's been discarded. 0, 1, 1, plus 1, 1, 0, 0, plus 1, minus 1, minus 1. I don't know how many zeros and minus ones and plus ones there are. I think there's just 1 minus 2 for each one, but let's give it a try. Just even up. Plus 1, I succeed. All right, so we moved the last biscuit to R, and then we Artel, and then we give him 4 progress. All right, well, we already know with Artel, with progress, we're not abandoning his quest, so we're going to still help him get to the Golden Shore for fishing. So we're going to clear that. But if there are 0 biscuits on this gear, read 1.02. Let's see here. There we go, 1.02. If we have no biscuits on our roll card, which we do not, go to 102A. With an empty basket, you continue down the path until you come across Calypsa and Cal resting beside a bubbling stream. Calypsa gestures towards the basket. How did it go? She asks. You tell her of the people you met in your travels today, which really is just Artel, and how each was appreciative of High Pin Pot's bakery. Calypsa stands and makes a show of studying you closely. And no crumbs! I'm impressed. Cal, I believe this settles our bet. He figures you would have had snuck a few for yourself. Cal looks at you suspiciously. You need to learn to live a little, he says. Complete the biscuit delivery mission and return the biscuit basket to the collection. Each ranger soothes to fatigue. I don't have any. And then go to 103. So 1.03. From down the path comes the sounds of a melodic whistling. Before long, a man wearing many layers of cloaks and walking with the aid of an ornate conduit follows. As he passes, he tips his wide-brimmed hat in your direction. Good day to you, friends. Good day, Master A.L., Calypsa replies. Lone trees hanging garden are thirsty. They'll be grateful for some rain. Fear not, my dear Calypso, for there's no shaper more skilled at stirring the clouds than I. By the time you return, those gardens will be thoroughly satiated. With that, the shaper continues down the path. He resumes his whistling as he passes from sight. Cal shakes his head. That fool is overly impressed by his own abilities, he says. Trouble will come of it. Mark my words. Calypso nods, then turns to you. It is time you should be on your way, she says. The village elders often have tasks that require the help of rangers. I recommend that you seek them out on your travels. I know also that Cordo would like some help dealing with the caustic mulcher that roams the woodlands. I'm not sure what he has in mind, but you can seek him out at Lone Tree Station if you're interested. Farewell. With that, Calypso and Cal disappear into the forest, leaving you to explore the valley on your own. What you do now is entirely up to you. You could, for example, spend time exploring the different path types to familiar yourself with the flora and fauna, or you could travel to pivotal locations on the map and delve into the path deck to find people in need of assistance and missions to complete. Take your time. You will be called upon if there is an emergency. Now you may end the day or continue playing. Well, I'm going to choose to continue playing because I've got to get my buddy, Artel the Angler, even though he is full of biscuits, over to the Golden Shore. All right, so this goes away. Red Crest Challenge Effect. Active Predator, there is not. All right. Fortunately, I don't have great focus, and I only have one conflict card icon in my hand right now. So the likelihood that I am going to clear that is not particularly great. So I think what I'm going to do is let us first spend 2 awareness to put in another Hydra Lens goggles. Comes in with 3 drops on it. All right, next let us do a little exploring. So we are going to do a 3. I am going to exhaust my roll card to dodge a card. So I'm going to dodge Fractal Wire. I'm going to come up here and try to traverse here. So right now I am a 3 versus a 2. That's not great. So maybe I don't do that yet. Yeah, I'm going to hold off then. So, oh no, but I can't put, oh yes I can now because the biscuit's gone. So I'm going to spend 1 fitness to get my other boundary sensor out. I'm going to actually just move this off Artel so I don't get confused by anything. Let's see here. You know what? Now we're going to try it. So we are going to exhaust and do a use. Down to 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to commit one of my Leaf in the Breeze to be a 4 versus 2. And I'm going to exhaust my roll card to dodge the Fractal Wire. And this has a presence of 0. These 2 are friendly, so I don't suffer any fatigue. So a 0. All right, so that was a 4. So I get 4 progress onto Mount Nim, which is enough. Mountain effects, so I get to add another one. So I'm actually up to 5 here. Add 1 harm to each being within reach. Oh, I don't like that. So both Uru and Artel suffer an injury. Or a harm, not an injury. Injury is something else specific. All right. And the Paratrepsis whistle only works if it's a predator. This is just a feature. Unfortunately, it is an obstacle, so I am going to have to clear that out before I can move. Unless I move up to Spiderline Stanchion next turn, because when I'm on it, I can treat obstacles as if they do not have the obstacle keyword. So I might try that next turn. All right. Nothing else for me to do right now, so I am going to rest for the day. So let's ready all the cards. Add our energy back. Draw a card into a walk with me. Oh, I didn't have any energy to do it to that. Oh, that's a being anyway. Okay, and then we lose 1 off of a perfect day, so we're back down to a midday sun. All right, drawn a path card. It is quiet. Is a being, it is a predator, it is a mammal. It has a 3 presence, 5 per ranger damage, 5 per ranger connect, and ambush. And 2 tests on it. It also has a entry in it. So let's see what that does. $52. You stare at the bushes ahead for a few minutes. Something seems wrong, but you can't spot anything dangerous. Then, slowly, you make out the large, lean body covered in a white coat of fur. The paws, each as big as your hand, and sporting shining black claws. One of the ears, shredded and covered in lumps of pink scar tissue. And finally, the shining red-yellow eyes staring back, unblinking. You've heard stories about the bearded lynx they call Quiet, that she hunts bear sloths for sport, that she relentlessly stalks prey from the one end of the valley to the other, that she attacked and killed the traveling artist Mars Keller, leaving only his sketchbook to bury at the Grove. Now seeing her for yourself, you believe them. All right, let's see. What does ambush keyword do? Ambush, page 26 in the rulebook. Ambush. When this card with an ambush keyword enters play within reach or moves within reach of a ranger, it fatigues that ranger. All right, so it fatigues me. Its presence value, so 3. Ouch. 1, 2, 3. I'm getting close to... I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left in my deck. All right. That is my turn. So I think first things first, we are going to use Oru to move Quiet out of my way and then add 2 progress to it. All right, and I do need to check one thing real quick. Okay. I'm just looking up, sorry about that. I'm just looking up some rules. I just want to make sure I've got everything okay. All right, so that's at least out of reach for me. Really need to try to get rid of that. And I need to get up here. So that is spirit plus knowledge. No. I need awareness plus. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to try this spirit and knowledge test. I am going to exhaust my Undaunted Seeker roll to ignore the fractal wire. Because this is in the same level, I believe, that's what I was looking up, is just verifying that I don't suffer fatigue because it is in the same you act with an environment, the thing between you and the thing you're interacting with may cause you to suffer fatigue. Each ready card between you and the farthest card from which you're interacting. If the card is within reach, nothing is in there. If it is along the way, all cards within reach of you are between you. So just these. So, yep. Okay, so I don't have to worry about him. I am dodging the fractal wire, so I suffer no fatigue from this. This is a spirit plus knowledge against a 3. All right, so I'm going to use 2 spirit. I've only got 1 knowledge icon to commit. So I am a 3 versus 3 on a spirit test. Hey. +1. Sweet. Okay. So I succeed. So this comes up here. After you succeeded a test in which you committed this attribute, you may suffer 1 fatigue to add it back to your hand. You know what? Sure. I'm going to suffer a fatigue to add it back to my hand. That goes away. All right, so I moved myself up here. So taking a look here. During your turn, if it's there, I can treat obstacles as if they don't have the obstacle keyword. I move that, and then when you travel, if all ranger tokens are on there, you may travel up to 2 locations away. Well, I would not want to because I just want to get to the next one. Okay. So, I'm up there. Now I have to do the yellow challenger, yellow sun effect. I suffer 1 fatigue. What is... So, Quiet's challenge effect says, if there is another active predator, which there is not, Quiet would defend the hunting ground, add 3 harm to that predator and 1 harm to Quiet. Oof. All right, and nothing up here. So that is that. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any purpose to clear Quiet. I mean, he's a pain, but there's no campaign entry or anything or any note for when you clear him either with harm or progress. So he's just here just harassing me. Fractal wire would be a focus and conflict, and against a threshold of 2, and I would effectively need 4 total effort to do that. But because I'm on here, I don't need to worry about the obstacle keyword. So I am going to rest. I'm going to choose to rest, and I am going to choose to travel because I get to ignore the obstacle keyword here. All right, so we didn't do much exploring on Mount Nim, but that's okay because we need to get Artel over there. So traveling. We have more than enough on there. Remove all the path cards from the play area. remove all path cards from the play area, choose a new location, and assemble the path deck. So let's take a look here. We are at Mount Nim. We are going to come up to Golden Shore so we can complete our helping hand. All right, so I am going to pause this again so I can set this up and not bore everybody with me pulling cards and shuffling. All right, I'm back here. So we traveled from Mount Nim to Golden Shore using the Lakeshore path. So I created the path deck using the Lakeshore encounter set, and because this isn't a pivotal location, I grabbed 3 random cards from the valley again. And I do realize I forgot to shuffle up the challenge deck after that last test. All right. Okay. I think that's a good shuffle on him. And then we arrive at the Golden Shore. It's a location, water, trail. It's got a 1 threshold, 1 presence. It's got a 3 per ranger progress threshold. And then spirit and knowledge 2 to contemplate the rhythmic waves as they lap the glistening shoreline to soothe 1 fatigue for every 2 effort. Okay, looking at the Golden Shore, first things first, we read section 12. Because Artel is with us, Artel nods approvingly. Look, that little tucked away spot under those trees? It definitely feels better, don't you think? Nothing spooking the fish around here, I can tell. Artel pulls one of several collapsing fishing poles out of a long conical tube. Here, never let it be said that I don't pay my debts. Besides, how many vaulting rods does one person need? Gain the Artel's vaulting rod reward card. Discard Artel, return helping hand to the collection, and record found the perfect fishing spot on the campaign tracker. All right, let's go take a look for my reward. Now, the thing is, I can't add this card to my deck yet. And arrival setup, let's draw 1 path card. Let's take care of that first, and then we'll go look at the rewards. So the path card is a Lutrinol Halt. It goes along the way. It is a feature. Has a 2 presence. It has 0 loot on it. 4 harm, 2 progress per ranger. And it has a test, focus plus connect against a threshold of 2 to coax the Lutrinols back to their lair to add 1 lure to this feature. You may discard 1 token from an equipped food to commit 1 effort. Then if you clear it via progress, shuffle a romping Lutrinol into the path deck for each lure on this feature. And then a challenge effect, the Blue Mountain, exhausts this feature to search the path deck and discard for a romping Lutrinol and put it into play. Ugh. All right, so let's go find that fishing rod, shall we? There we go. All right, so we've got Artel's Vaulting Rod. It is a 1 fit gear, tech, and aid item. Takes up 3 gear slots out of 5. Oof. It does have an Explore, a Knowledge, and a Conflict icon. You need to have at least 1 fitness to have it, so anybody can take it. It has 2 vaults on it. And it says Exhaust. Use 1 vault to exhaust an obstacle. That's handy. And then Response. When there are no vaults on this gear, discard it. And then it has a test, Awareness plus Conflict against a threshold of 2 to fish if there is a water card in play, to soothe 2 fatigue and add 2 progress to a water card. That's handy. So, as I said, I can't add, so there are 2 copies. Any reward card that you get during this. You get 2 copies, and anybody can add it to their deck if you were playing with multiple Rangers. But you can't swap in cards, add them in or swap them out or anything until you camp. And you can only camp when you travel. So basically, when you travel, you have a choice on whether you want to go to the next spot or if you want to camp and end the day. And when you end the day, then you're going to reset everything and that sort of thing. So, all right. So these will stay out to the side until such time as I camp. Which, honestly, given the fact that I'm down to 3 cards in my Ranger deck, that'll probably be pretty quick. So that was the travel phase, and now we do the refresh phase. So we ready all our cards, return our energy, draw a card, so another whistle, and again, so now I'm down to 2 cards. And then we get a cloud on Midday Sun. All right, so now it's my turn. We start the new turn, the new round. We draw a path card. It is a tributary stream. It is an obstacle. I got to get my Ranger token on it. I can either do focus and explore 2 or spirit plus connect 2. Either will get my Ranger token on there. If I do the spirit and connect test, it soothes fatigue equal to the effort. And if I do the focused and explore, I get to add 1 progress to the location. All right. So what do I have here? So spirit, I've got 2 energy. Focus, I only have 1. Think we're going to do the spirit test. So we're going to do 2 spirit, and we are going to do 2 walk with me's. So I am doing a effort of 4, and then I draw a challenge card. So 4 versus 2. Plus 1 and a mountain. So that is 5. So I get to move my Ranger token here, and then I get to soothe fatigue equal to your effort. My effort is 5, so I get to soothe 5 cards from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all of my fatigue. Nice. And there is no limit to the number of cards in your hand, so I don't have to worry about discarding down or anything. All right. So that was that. Now we got to do the challenge effect. No. Lutrinol halt has it. Exhaust this feature to search the path deck and discard for a romping Lutrinol and put it into play. All right, so I have to go find a romping Lutrinol. There we go. So romping Lutrinol is a being, comes into play within reach, has a presence of 1, a harm threshold of 2, a connect threshold of 5, and it does have ambush, so it fatigues us immediately. Oof. So yeah, we got to get out of here. And then it has a bunch of challenge effects. All right. So, we don't have a spirit. Darn it. So one of the cards, discarded was both copies of Riri, my Sparrowhawk. So I could just add harm to a being. One of the cards that I had was Healing Touch, was discard 1 harm from a being to add 3 progress to it. So Oru could have put 2 progress on it. Riri could have harmed it, and then I could use Healing Touch to get the 5th one on there, but I don't have any spirit to pay for Healing Touch moment. So, all right. Oh, and Tributary Stream goes away. Did clear that. This is the Holt is not a is not an obstacle, so I could just traverse and just deal with it. Yeah, I think we just got to get out of here. All right, so we need 3 progress on here. So this is exhausted, so I don't have to worry about fatiguing from this. I'd have to fatigue 1 from there. So let us... All right, so we are going to traverse. It's a 3 against 1. So I need to make sure I get 3. So that is 1, 2, 3. I got to be sure to get at least to a 5 so I can get out of here. So I will commit 1 Riri and 1 of my photoscopic headsets to be at a 5. Or hang on a second. Before I do that, I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm looking because if I take a if I draw a yellow sun, it's gonna fatigue me out. Oh, I've got 2 cards, so that's fine. So yeah, so we'll do that. So I've got a 5 effort in here. I'm going to exhaust my secret card to avoid this card. And then, so I'm testing at a 5. I will use a boundary sensor. Let's just test at a 6. It is a -1. So I succeed with a 5. So I get 5 progress on this. All right, and now we resolve the challenge crest. Nope, nope, nope. If there's another active romping Lutronol, no. Okay, so I have enough progress on there to leave. Is there anything? Yeah, I've got 2 cards. I'm trying to think, is there anything else even for me to do here? And it sure as heck doesn't look like it. So just for thematic purposes, we are going to have Oru chase the romping Lutronol up here, which also gives it 2 progress. And just because I can, I'm going to spend 2 to get Riri the Sparrowhawk out. And that is it. I am going to choose to rest, and I am going to travel. So let me look here. So phase 3, travel. Clear the area. Discard all path cards in play and all ranger cards within reach. These 2 would not discard because they are persistent. Missions that instruct you to travel away from the location resolve at this time. Nope. Travel to a new location. As a group, choose a new location to travel to by consulting the campaign map. You must choose a location that is connected directly to your current location. So I do have to choose where I'm going to go. All right, so I am at Golden Shore. Why don't we pop up to the Northern Outpost? Let's go see what the Northern Outpost is like. So I'll be traveling to the Northern Outpost through the woods. Okay, choosing destination, find its location card, place it into the surroundings, and replace the current location. Okay, so this goes away. So we are going to the Northern Outpost. Northern Outpost. Find its location cards, place it into the surroundings, replacing the current location. So it is here. And now, before we build the path deck, we decide to camp. After choosing a new location as a group, you can decide to end the day and set up camp for the night before venturing into the new landscape. Ending the day in this way is safer than ending in the middle of navigating through a location and allows you the opportunity to prepare yourself for the next day. If you end the day this way, you are allowed to swap reward cards into your ranger deck between sessions. If you choose not to end the day, continue to step 4, which would be building the path deck. And then do the arrival setup. So I am going to choose to camp. Let's see, anything else? Ending the day. Choose to camp. When you successfully travel, the group can decide to camp for the night, which I have. When the day ends, your current play session is over, and 1 day of the campaign time passes. Check off the next day on the campaign tracker. Save your current location by either storing it with your ranger deck or writing it down on the campaign tracker along with the terrain types you were traveling on. The rest of the game material can be packed up and returned to their normal storage. All right, so basically at this point, all these cards go away. Uru and Riri come back, even though their persistence, they don't stay between days. All of these cards come back to my hand, or come back to my deck. I'll reset all my energy. And this is now where I will have a choice to, if I want to, include my this vaulting rod in there. So we will take a look. See, I probably will just because it's got good icons. But we're going to wrap this one up for day 1. So, thank you very much for watching so far. And I am going to reset some things, take a look at some things, and then before too long, I will be back for day 2 to go explore the Northern Outpost and see what there is for me to find here. All right, so thanks everybody. Have a great day.